Welcome to this micro-focused ZENworks video presentation. My name is Darren Vandenbos, Product Manager for ZENworks Patch Management, a multi-platform software patching solution that provides automated maintenance patching as well as on-demand threat remediation. Over the next several minutes, I'll introduce the primary features of ZENworks Patch Management, starting with what can be patched, moving on to how patch vulnerabilities are detected and then remediated, and finishing with how patch compliance is monitored and reported. ZENworks Patch Management patches both workstation and server operating system software for the Windows, Linux, and Mac platforms. SUSE and Red Hat are the supported Linux distributions. The support matrix is regularly updated as new operating system versions for these platforms are released. In addition to operating systems, you can also patch Windows and Mac software applications from over 80 vendors, such as Adobe, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Mozilla, and Oracle. For Linux, both SUSE and Red Hat application patching is limited to what is provided in the operating system patches. To reduce the complexity and confusion that can be caused by vendors using different classifications for patches, ZENworks Patch Management classifies all security-related patches as critical and all other non-security patches as recommended. So, how does ZENworks Patch Management know which patches a device needs? First, a vulnerability scan is performed by an agent on the device. The scan uses patch signatures that are automatically downloaded from a patch content repository each day by the ZENworks server and then distributed to the device. Using a variety of analysis techniques, such as file and registry comparisons, the patch agent determines whether or not a patch is installed. And because of the analysis techniques used, ZENworks Patch Management detects a patch's installation state regardless of the installation source. This ensures that, first, you always know the complete patch status of a device, and second, ZENworks Patch Management doesn't waste resources attempting to install a patch that was previously installed by another source. You get to decide how often a vulnerability scan is performed. There are a variety of factors that go into determining a scan schedule, such as how often you patch and how up-to-date you want your device's patch status to be between patching dates. Regardless, the scan schedule provides the flexibility to achieve the behavior and results you want. After a vulnerability scan finishes, the scan results are uploaded to the ZENworks server. Using ZENworks Control Center, the centralized management console, you can view patch status from the perspective of individual devices or, as the capture screen shows, from the perspective of individual patches. With the vulnerability status of devices known, you are ready to apply the patches needed to remediate or fix the vulnerabilities. ZENworks Patch Management provides two remediation methods, with each method ideally suited to meeting different patching needs. The first method is on-demand patching. On-demand patching enables you to manually select a patch and install it on one or more target devices. If desired, you can also select multiple patches instead of just one. This method is ideal for responding to emerging threats, such as the widespread ransomware attacks we've experienced over the last several years. The second method is automated policy-driven patching. This method enables you to create rules-based policies that automate the selecting and installing of patches on applicable devices. It is the ideal method for maintaining patch currency on devices. For example, you might use a patch policy to automate the installation of your workstation's monthly operating system updates. Let's take a closer look at on-demand vulnerability remediation. ZENworks Control Center provides multiple views that show you patches and the patch status of devices. Because on-demand patching is often used in the context of applying patches that have just been released in response to vulnerability exposures, the recently released patches view offers an easy way to quickly locate new patches and install them to vulnerable devices. Using the recently released patches view, you select one or more patches you want to install, select the remediate action to launch the wizard, and then select the devices to which you want to install the patch. You can select specific devices or groups of devices, or you can simply choose to install the patch to all devices that do not yet have it installed. You can then choose to install the patch immediately or schedule a later date and time for the installation. And, of course, once the patch is installed on a device, the patch status is uploaded so that you can view it either from the perspective of the patch or from the perspective of the device. Fortunately, the majority of patching falls into the category of preventative maintenance rather than reactive, on-demand remediation of emerging threats. This is where automated, policy-driven patching comes into play. Patch policies use rules to define the criteria that a patch must meet to be included in the policy. The rules include various patch attributes, such as the vendor, impact, name, or architecture. In the captured screen, the defined rules result in the policy including all critical Windows 10 cumulative updates. The policy is assigned to devices, and the policy enforcement schedule is set. This schedule determines when the policy's patches are installed and can be a variety of schedule types, such as any time the device's agent is refreshed, a set day of every week, or a specific day of the month. To maintain the policy's consistency during the patching maintenance window, no new patches are added and no old or superseded patches are removed until the policy is recalculated. And since you schedule when recalculations take place, you are able to refresh policies on a schedule that supports your patch enforcement window. Of course, once a policy is applied and patches are installed, the patch status is uploaded so that you can view it in ZENworks Control Center. One of the benefits of using patch policies is the ability to implement an automated staged deployment of patches. This allows you to test patches on a limited number of devices before rolling them out to all devices. When a policy is recalculated, it goes into a sandbox mode and is applied to any devices that are designated as test devices. If the policy's patches are successfully installed on all of the test devices, the policy is auto-approved and enforced on all other assigned devices according to the policy enforcement schedule. If any patches fail to install, the policy is not auto-approved. At this point, you can investigate the reason for the failure and decide if any changes need to be made before rolling the policy out to other devices. Ultimately, knowing that your device's known software vulnerabilities are patched is what will allow you to sleep soundly at night. To this end, ZENworks Patch Management lets you easily monitor the patch compliance status of devices. In ZENworks Control Center, you can use the Device Patch Compliance view to quickly see the overall compliance percentages for all of your devices. In addition, you can filter the view to show only workstations or servers, to show compliance for critical patches only, or to show compliance for specific platforms, either Windows, Linux, or Mac. The device grid below the pie chart lets you see the compliance status for individual devices and drill down into a device to see which patches are causing it to be non-compliant. To best reflect your organization's patch compliance policies, you can adjust the critical and recommended patch percentages used to determine compliance. In addition to monitoring compliance within the management console, you can use ZENworks reporting to generate compliance reports, as well as a variety of other useful reports. There are 16 different predefined reports, and if you need a report that isn't provided, you can create it as a custom report. All reports can be generated on a schedule and emailed to designated individuals. To summarize what we've seen over the last several minutes, ZENworks Patch Management supports patching of Windows, Linux, and Mac operating systems and applications, provides comprehensive patch scanning with flexible scheduling to detect software vulnerabilities, offers both on-demand and automated policy-driven patching to cover both emerging threats and maintenance patching, automates testing of patches via staged deployment of patch policies, displays patch compliance for devices in the management console, allowing for easy discovery and patching of non-compliant devices, provides both predefined and custom reports to track patch compliance and other patch-related details. Thank you for your interest in ZENworks Patch Management. This concludes this video presentation.